To make it easy to cut, I measured that this cardboard is about the right size for the width, and I just put the material out so that it is perfectly aligned. Then put the pins in. I also have here already measured the length of the block. This one is exactly 30 centimeters, plus half of the height is 32. So on one side here, it's just half of it, but on the other side, I add just 4.5 centimeters. The height is 5, but if I overlap and for sewing, give a bit of extra. So here I have about 5 mils of seam, and 30 plus half of 5 is 32.5, plus 4.5 is 37. 37. Mark where I will sew, and what I do is I also mark on which side of the line I will have the seam. Here we go. First bottom, and then the length. The corners don't have to be perfect at all. And then I do the bottoms of the 2 other ones. And I know exactly where to, because I have that mark on which side of the line. Here I can cut short because those corners will get stitched the other way anyway. Now comes the fun bit, that's the corners. And I make sure that the edge is visible. Then pull the seams well apart and put in a pin to hold it in place fairly down, so that the angle is for sure right angled. Okay. I cut out a triangle that is on its long edge 5 centimeters, which is the width of the thickness of the foam pads, and then I lay it straight and just go. The other side is a bit easier because there's 2 seams, so I am doing the same, finding the bit with the oops, that is niffly. So here I go in through the seam and out. Yay, I got it. This time I got it right. When there are two seams, I found that it makes it better if the top one goes to the back and the bottom one comes towards me, to the front. It seems that the machine then doesn't start to skew the angle as much. So here we go again. That's what it looks like. Now comes the fun part of putting the bag over the foam block. That plastic bag is roughly the right size, a bit loose, and has a hole on top. So put the foam block in, leave the one side without plastic, otherwise it's too hard to pull out, and put the pocket over. I have cut those bags about 1/2 centimeter too narrow, so that they are really nice and tight. And here we go. I can pull this plastic bag out, no problem. And I will adjust the edges so it's really nice and tight at the corners. That was the bit that I was most worried about, that it would be so hard to get the foam in, but it's nice now. So easy as. Now I prepare the ending to be easy to sew together. I found better start on the seam side and make sure that the seam is more or less in the middle here. Pull it really tight. Then I cut out that pattern and I cut in so one can fold things over. However, I don't cut through the seam. As you can see, that's still here. That's still here. So that won't fray. And then I just cut enough away here on the side. You see it's cut about this far back. It doesn't have to be the whole length. And then comes the other side. It's a very rough job. It's just so one can easily fold the corners. And about here. So here we go. Corners. Here I pull over, do the seam goes towards me, do that side first and make it nice and have the edge on the side, and then with this side I'm just roughly measuring where the seam goes so that it meets the seam here, and fold the material over just about there, maybe a little bit shorter, because I want to pull. Everything that I do with this is a little bit on the short side so that it's nice and tight. Here we go. Better unearth this one. Make this come just slightly over. Here we go. So that should be good. And on the other side, no, first I fold that in roughly at the same distance from the edge, and that means it's a bit closer. This is a bit wider than that, but only maybe 2 mils, 1 mil, and go to the end. Here we go. Put some pins in, stretch both sides this way and the other one. So from this side I pull, and from this side I pull. Oops, that changed where it's folded. So this part is easy. That's the one that will be folded under. And that side, we have to be more careful. Don't forget to flatten out that lip underneath. And make it go to the edge here to make it nice and a nice corner. Here we go. I cut the thread to almost 1 meter, double it, and start at the bottom the bottom fold. So here I can correct some things. The corner could be a bit sharper, but these are old pads and they're not straight, or not complete anymore. Some corners are missing, or some foam has fallen out. So here I could go about 3-4 millimeters. Then for the corner here I go a very small stitch, and to make it stronger. So there will be about 2 to 3 stitches on the corner. Here we go through the corner and pull it over the bottom. Now I do a few big 1 or 2 big stitches here. I can do 1 long stitch because I'm coming back and do more stitches on the way back. I really try to get the edge. And again I'm pulling that a bit back so that the corner is nice and parallel as much as possible. So here, this corner I want to have folded in, but it doesn't want to stay. Here we go. Okay, so this will be a shorter stitch. Then a long stitch, you go in the middle of the other long stitch. And come up through the corner and put it down the other side. On the long edge, I do fairly big stitches, up to 5 millimeters. Gosh, that would be something else. Centimeters. And I pull the fabric. You know, this is quite far away from the edge, the folded edge, and then it pulls it together like that.